right, he is now has to be regarded as the good luck charm of the metropolitan area. This year, he took over the pregame for the Mets, and they've had a wonderful season. And now we saw yesterday's opener as the voice of the Scarlet Knights. Conrad, how are you?
Great, Mike. Just getting ready for a big loudmouth tonight at 6 o'clock, only on SNY.
Yeah, absolutely, because you need a little cheer in your life, Con, because, you know, your teams are doing very, very well. You know, your Met teams had a big season. Now you became the voice of the Mets, and now your Scarlet Knights are off to a wonderful start. That was really a stirring. I happened to see you on Mic'd Up Sunday night. I happened to check you out there, and that half-hour commercial, that would have happened if I was there. Let me tell you that half-hour Rutgers commercial that went on that night. I mean, geez. But and I understand Bruce's ties to the program, so I have no issues with that. I mean, God bless him. I appreciate Bruce doing all the work he does all summer, so he's allowed to help his alma mater out, and we know where you stand. But what a awful performance.
Did you have any thoughts before I came on? I didn't catch that.
I had a few. Well, let's just listen. Let's hear. Here we go. Let's go back to days of yore.
There is pandemonium in Piscataway.
Was that yesterday? No. That was not. As a matter of fact, when are they going to start to sell the PSLs now? After yesterday's game?
Oh, stop, Mike. Just stop. Look, there's no arguing with what happened yesterday.
Oh, my God. Against the defense that returned one starter.
Hey, you know what, Mike? Cincinnati just beat them. There's no other way to put it yesterday. I mean, what happened, happened. They got beat yesterday. You can't sugarcoat what happened on the field.
That's not beat, Con. In your own building, that is not beat. That is just a trampling. Beat doesn't cover it. They give up 600 yards of offense to Cincinnati.
Look, you know what? You can't really. I can't put any spin on it, Mike. What happened happened, but at the same time, it's not a one-game season.
Well, yeah, no, you still got Howard to play, and Florida International, and Army,
you can get on the schedule all you want.
The schedule's a joke.
The fact that they have a couple of those games is because they couldn't get other teams to come here. So, look, the schedule is what it is right now, but we're extolling the virtues of Pitt and South Florida, teams that Rutgers has routinely beaten over the last few years.
You don't want to come on here and hint that teams now are afraid to come here after they get. They should be running here now after we saw that.
We're referencing the schedule. I'm just telling you what happened.
If I had a team, I'd bring them in tomorrow, as a matter of fact, after watching your team play.
Look, Mike, there's no way around it. They got beat yesterday, but it's not like they're going to pack it up for the season. It's not like the conference is over. It's not like anything is over.
Well, listen, Mike,
I said there's no way to sugarcoat what happened.
Howard, Florida International, and Texas Southern is not going to prove anything except that you basically filled the schedule with absolute lollipops the next couple of weeks.
Mike, I can tell you that there were plenty of Division I teams. They needed to get 7 home games, and there were plenty of Division I teams that they were trying to get to come that wouldn't come. That's just fact.
Who?
I mean, I can't give you specifics because I wasn't in the negotiations, but I know for sure that there were a lot of them because they didn't add a couple of those games until late. But, you know, that's one of those cases where it just happened. It's never an ideal situation, but what are they supposed to do at this point? You go and you play the schedule, you see how things play out, and you wait and see what happens when you get into conference play later in the year.
But listen, Rutgers talks a good game, but let's be honest, Cincinnati's the one that has established
the idea that they
oh, no, wait, no.
What are you talking about when you say that?
Rutgers has talked a good game since the Louisville game a couple years ago.
What do you mean by talked a good game?
They're going to be a top 20 program, and they've arrived, and all this stuff. And let's be honest, Rutgers has done nothing. They've done nothing.
But nobody in the program has sat there and said they've arrived. They said, are we going to be a top 20 program? Absolutely.
When is
They're
that
talking
happen?
about being a championship program.
No, wait a second. Wait. When did they become a top 20 program? Forget championship program.
I mean,
when did they become a top 20 program?
It could be this season.
No, come on now. The only team you play that's going to be ranked all year just beat you by 30 points.
I don't think that's accurate because I think we can both agree that West Virginia's a pretty good team.
Maybe.
You were sitting there extolling Pitt 5 minutes ago.
Well, Maryland got beat by 38 points in their opener. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're not going to worry about them. You got no one else on the schedule that's going. You have no one right now on the schedule who's in the top 20.
But were you or were you not 5 minutes ago telling me that Pitt and South Florida are good?
No, I don't know if South Florida's good this year.
Well,
Pitt,
the last few years they have been good.
Yes.
Rutgers has routinely
and I
beaten
think
them.
Pitt is
has been
okay.
good.
I think
Rutgers
Pitt
has owned Pitt.
And Pitt is not a top 25 program. They've been okay. They've been a top 25 program. And
They were last year when they beat them.
And you guys
They were 17th when they beat them like a drum in Pittsburgh.
And you guys are just awful. I mean, let's be honest.
Mike,
That's
they're not awful.
you cannot
That's
lose.
ridiculous.
You cannot lose 32 points in your home opener at
Hey,
home.
I think
you cannot
to say
do it.
that, look, yesterday, you can't sugarcoat what happened yesterday.
That's
all right?
hideous.
They got beaten, Mike. What do you want me to tell you? But to say that the program, the word you used was myth, which was just a
the program is a myth. The program is a myth. It's been a myth.
That's a ridiculous
The program.
word to use.
No, it's not. It's my word. It's a myth. The idea that this program became anything that night against Louisville, it's become nothing but a fake program. They've played a pancake schedule. Going to a bowl means nothing because anyone who breathes goes to a bowl now. I mean, they got enough bowls.
Mike, does anyone who breathes win 3 in a row?
Con, you play. There's
This is
32.
1 in 11
Con,
have done that
Con,
this year.
you've played 30 because you can't play in a good bowl game. You play 32. There's 32 bowl games now. 64 teams. There's not 64 good teams in this country. That's all there is. There's not 30 good teams in this country. There's now 30 bad teams going to bowl games every year.
Mike, here's what I can tell you. To use the word myth is just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, they are a myth.
No, it's not a myth.
And you know what? I'll tell you what's not a myth. Cincinnati. They're not a myth.
Hey, Cincinnati did a great job yesterday, and they won the conference.
And they did
last year.
They won a conference last year. Came in this year with a rebuilt defense and destroyed Rutgers.
Well, they didn't walk in the door with freshmen, Mike. I mean, let's not
how
turn
many
it into something it's not. One starter, but plenty of those guys had played on that defense before.
One starter. How many starters?
But Mike, most of those guys had played before.
All right, how many?
It's not like they're walking in the door and haven't played.
How many starters did you start? How many offensive linemen did you bring back yesterday?
All 5.
Against a defense that returned how many starters?
1.
And how many yards did you
How
rush
many
for?
guys played last year for that defense? Probably 8 or 9.
And how many yards did you rush for?
Well, Mike, the rushing guy is not even a number you can look at because you got to throw the ball in the second half of that game.
Well, yes, I can for this reason. You rushed the ball 33 times for 50 yards. You didn't. You averaged a yard and a half
a lot
a
of those
carry.
came late when the horse was out of the barn.
Well, you should be able to get 7, 8 yards a pop then when the horse is out of the barn. You were getting nothing.
Mike, look, there's no arguing what happened yesterday. They got beat up and down the field, no question. But it's not like you can just look at the season and now the season's over after one game. If that was the case, what about last year?
Well, wait a second.
They started the year 1-5 last year, rattled off 7 in a row.
Your coach the other night with me watching the show said the biggest game of the year was Cincinnati.
Well, I think he believes the biggest game of the year is every week.
Well, no, he did say that, though.
Well,
he said the Cincinnati
the biggest game of the year was the first one.
Well, no, because they were probably the premier team on the schedule.
Well,
you would agree with that. They're the premier team on your schedule this year.
Well, I think they played great yesterday, but I don't know. I mean, again, they don't know how the conference is going to play out. West Virginia could be a great team this year. Who knows?
But
same thing with Pitt. Rutgers was picked, and nobody knows how good the conference is going to be because Rutgers was picked anywhere from 5th to 1st in the conference.
Well, we know this. That Rutgers and Cincinnati don't belong on the same field. We learned that yesterday. And that game was not in Cincinnati. That game was at Rutgers in front of 50,000 people who I don't think will be lining up for those PSLs this morning.
Oh, there's no PSLs, Mike. Tickets are reasonably priced at $50 a pop for the top ticket, so do what you can there.
Yeah, they got their money's worth yesterday. Okay.
Hey, they got beat, Mike. There's no arguing that, but I think there's a lot
47-15. Now, come on, Con. 47-15.
So what are they supposed to do? Pack it in for the year?
Well, around here, college football matters when it is special, and now they have taken special and thrown it away for this year.
I think that's.
How is that ridiculous? You gonna tell me that's ridiculous?
After one game,
well, where are you gaining it back? Playing what? Army and Florida International and Howard?
What about the conference games, Mike?
Well,
Those
you know what?
Matter?
By that, first of all, it's a middle conference now at best. It's not even there's maybe one ranked team left on the schedule this year if you're lucky. Maybe one.
I mean, I don't think that's accurate. I think, people have been talking up Pitt all year. People have been talking up, you've been talking up South Florida for years.
No, I didn't talk about them this year. I don't know what they have this year. I really don't know.
And West Virginia, when is West Virginia not in the top 25?
No, West Virginia's down since Rodriguez left. I mean, let's be honest. They're not the same.
Look, all I can tell you is that similar to last year. You know, it didn't start the way they wanted it to start yesterday, but they got 11 more games to play, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think the season's over.
No, they're going to win. They're going to win their handful of games. First of all, they have at least 4, maybe 5 cupcakes on there. At least 4 cupcakes I can think of.
Well,
Army and the 3 coming up in a row.
Mike, did you see Army the other day?
No, stop.
I mean, Mike, no joke. You look at Army's running the option now. That could change immensely. You know that.
Stop now. Come on now. Army's won 20% of their games in the last 9 years. I mean, come on now, Con.
Look, ask Mink. They're going to win 8.
No, listen, he's as delirious as you are. I mean, we know that.
They're going to be better. They're running the option, which is always a pain in the butt to deal with.
They'd have to be much better to even be remotely competitive against any major college team now. They're basically a 1A football team now.
All I can tell you is that, they got 11 left. Let's just see how it plays out.
Well, we saw how it played out against the big sister on the schedule yesterday. All I heard was how important all I got from the theme from that whole infomercial the other night was that Cincinnati was the game, and I saw it happen in the game. And if you guys had ever beat Cincinnati yesterday, you would have been crowing from the rooftops.
And I'm sure that my phone would have been ringing today too.
But crowing from the rooftops. Instead, it continued along your path. You are becoming.
Nobody would have been crowing about
you are becoming an anchor.
Nobody would have been crowing.
You go there, and the Mets become a total mess. They go from being competitive.
Well, you can blame me for that if you want.
Yeah, I got to blame you for those injuries.
It's a lot of injuries.
We are looking for a reason why all those guys are on the DL. It could be you.
And why is it that I can't get a return phone call from you all summer? What's that about?
I don't.
I called you a couple times in summer. I get nothing.
I don't remember you calling
me. I leave, and
you're too busy.
Out of sight, out of mind until we can bury them.
You can't be out of sight. That's for sure. You're on every show in the world. I mean, you can't watch a Met game without you up there trying to explain away another Met loss.
Plus, you can see me. You can see my head from space anyway.
Well, I can't. I mean, I don't know. There's other shows of yours I don't watch, so I can't help you with those other ones. But I do watch the Met pre and post, and I have seen you on there plenty of times trying to explain away those another Met defeat.
So why don't we make a deal?
What's that?
Why don't you and I speak again at the end of the year?
I'll give you a thing.
Let me finish. Why don't you and I speak again December 7th after West Virginia, and we'll see where we are.
No, I'll tell you what. You can come on the next time Rutgers beats a ranked team. Okay?
Okay, well, I mean, you didn't have me on after they beat Pitt, who was 17 last year, and they hung 56 up on them at Heinz Field.
Next time you beat a ranked team, and can we get where are we going to play? How many quarterbacks this week? We're going to basically unload a clown truck and just have them all run out the center, or what this week? How many guys? 8 and 9? How many quarterbacks are going to play this week?
You can say what you want. Tom Savage, the freshman, is going to be something special.
Well, if he was special, he should have been playing the whole game yesterday.
Well, he's a true freshman, Mike.
So does that mean it's illegal?
No, it doesn't mean it's illegal. I think the coach at that point would rather be too late to put him in than too soon.
Oh, so
because he doesn't want to go in there and have the kid get his confidence ruined if he has a bad outing. He doesn't want to lose him for the year. So, look, we'll see what happens if the kid's going to play this week or not. I would think he probably would play quite a bit, but he's going to be, he's the number 3 rated pro-style quarterback in the country. So,
wait, if he was so
bright with that kid,
if he was so wonderful, why wasn't he playing the whole game yet?
Because he's still learning about college football.
I mean, if you got 3 quarterbacks, you don't have any. You know that.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know how it's going to play out. Dom didn't play great. I don't think it was all his fault, but I think at the same time, the kid still got some ability. So we'll see. But like I said,
is there any of them you don't like?
You and I make an agreement that we'll talk after December 5th.
No, next time you come on is after they beat a ranked team, which means that you're not getting on the show again this year.
Well, Mike, I think that's a ridiculous statement to make.
Why? Oh, you're going to beat a ranked team this year?
I think it's definitely possible they'll beat a ranked team.
You probably thought they were going to beat Cincinnati going into yesterday's game.
Honestly, I did not know either way because Cincinnati, he's a good coach. Brian Kelly's a good coach.
I agree.
And they won.
He has built
the quarterback's a good player. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought they had a chance. They didn't play well.
That's it. And there was and like I said, thank you, Connor. We'll see you. And one program is legit and one's a myth, and you can pick which is which.
I miss us.
Like I said, you can pick out which is which, the myth and legit.
Well, I think, your use of the word myth is rather liberal, but you do whatever you have to do to get through.
Well, the next time you'll be calling, you'll be trying to promote that Rutgers basketball team, which won about 3 games last year. So
they're going to be better this year, Mike.
Oh, I'm sure they are going to be better.
They got a couple freshmen coming in, transferred, the point guard.
Hope springs eternal there. Yeah, what would that mean? Win 5 games this year?
Mike, don't knock. I think they're going to be better. They're going to be better this year.
Well, they got that big Marathon Oil game to start the season, so I guess that'll give them 1 W, right?
I really do miss you.
See you, Con.
Mike,
the voice.
Pregame live tonight.
The voice. I'll be there for pregame live, Con, like always.